Sean Combs is being kept away from the general inmate population. You say his fame makes him a target.
Yeah, sure, and not necessarily at the MDC only. I mean,
anywhere.
Yes, in my humble estimation, his life, his safety is in jeopardy in any correctional lockup right now. If it is true, as reported, that he is housed in the special housing unit, it's important to note that the special housing unit is a lockdown, 24-hour lockdown unit.
A person close to him apparently said, quote, spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him. If we're to believe all this, Diddy had a meltdown in his cell and begged the guards to take him to the hospital for observation, but they refused.
Shan Diddy Combs, the music mogul who used to dominate headlines for his luxurious. He has spent Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's not in a mansion but behind bars, and by the looks of things, he's not going anywhere until at least May 2025. But it gets worse. News are filtering in, and what we're hearing paints a terrible picture. Diddy's life in prison isn't just uncomfortable, it's downright dangerous, and the mogul, he ain't doing okay. In their 2024 wasn't the best year for Diddy. In September, he was arrested on serious accusations relating to suspected insult.
Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of trafficking and racketeering. I want to show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us, like literally in the last 90 seconds. This is Combs in court after prosecutors arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to what a person familiar with the move tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him. It looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long acts known as, in their words, freak-offs that Combs supposedly orchestrated to victims.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them.
Prosecutors say Combs punched and kicked his victims to try to keep them under control. He'd also, they say, filled them up with drugs like ketamine and ecstasy for long periods of time, even using incriminating records to try to manipulate his victims. Prosecutors say they discovered this wide range of evidence against Combs in several raids. They found things, they say, like AR-15s, narcotics, more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants.
Diddy's legal battles have been relentless since his arrest. He's faced many bail hearings, and each time the judge has denied his release.
Talking about that breaking news before the break, we are just learning that a judge has denied another one of rapper Sean Diddy Combs' requests to be released on bail. Remember, he's behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, waiting for his trial to get started next year in May. He's been detained for 2 months on charges of trafficking and racketeering, which he's pled not guilty to. Chloe Malas is following this for us. We were waiting for this decision. We got it in now. What do we know?
All right. Well, it's 5 pages. And the takeaway here is that the judge is saying that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. And that was what New York prosecutors were saying. I was in court twice last week, and I listened to these prosecutors say that he was a danger to the community. And they showed that video, that surveillance video of him from 2016 brutally beating his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, saying that he has a propensity to violence, and that alone is a reason why we cannot agree to the proposed bail package. Now, his team had offered $50 million, a home of his in Miami as collateral, and they said that he would live in an apartment on Manhattan's Upper East Side, monitored by 24-hour security, that he would only talk to his attorneys, that he would only have, certain family members on a pre-approved list, and that, he would actually be under stricter conditions than he is at the jail in Brooklyn. But clearly, this is the third time.
Yeah.
This judge not buying it.
What was Diddy like in court? You were there twice last week. What was his demeanor like?
I mean, he was smiling on Friday, turned around and looked at his children. All of his children were there except for his infant child. His mother was there. He looked a little thinner. He looked a little worse for wear, but he has seemed upbeat and positive. And a few days earlier on Wednesday, so a week ago today, his legal team had a win. because his team was able to say that New York prosecutors wrongly obtained 16 pages of notes from his jail cell during a routine sweep, that it had his defense strategy, it had witnesses that they planned to call at the criminal trial in May, and the judge agreed that those should have been protected under attorney-client privilege. So there was a feeling today among reporter friends of mine and people in the building here that, maybe there's a chance that the judge, given he's taking several days to think about this, he asked for both sides to write a letter, that he might release him. But this is the third time. His team, we're waiting for a response from them, from his legal team. They could appeal again. But we were talking to Danny Savalos earlier, and he said, they would have to propose something new and different to potentially be successful for a fourth attempt.
Notably, on November 27, 2024, Judge Iron Somian denied bail, underlining Diddy's serious risk to the community. These repeated denials mean that Diddy remains confined to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, awaiting his trial scheduled for May 5th, 2025.
First of all, Shauna, let's jump here to you, because I'm curious at all if you're surprised by this ruling from the judge here, again, to deny bail to Sean Diddy Combs.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated, despite having an order that says he's not supposed to. So under these types of conditions, we usually find that the judge will not grant bail in order to preserve the judicial system and the witnesses and ensure that people feel comfortable being able to come to court and testify without being threatened with violence.
And that's part of exactly what the judge is saying, that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. I mean, Mike Muse, that is quite a statement here when someone is trying to get out on bail, noting that his defense lawyer said, let him out on bail, he would be in his 3-bedroom apartment right in New York, and that he would be monitored at all times, and the judge just not buying it.
Not buying it at all, Kana. And safety can mean a couple different things. Safety just doesn't mean free from harm of violence. Safety can also, too, means emotional and mental dynamics that could occur by Sean Combs reaching out to potential witness to get them to possibly change their testimony, to feel threatened that if they were to come forward and to testify against him, associates on the outside may be able to get in contact with them, really making them feel unsafe to go before the court, go before jury, go before the witness stand and to testify. What we're also too seeing is the judge brought in evidence from a text that Cassie sent to Diddy after the elevator incident, where Cassie said, quote, you are sick to think that it was okay to do what you did to me, really feeding into what the judge is concerned about in terms of physical safety. So we highlighted mental and emotional safety as well as physical safety that the judge has cited as a reason needing to keep to deny Sean Combs bail.
Right, and of course that violent incident with Cassie is certainly the crux of this case, and we know that his lawyers have pushed back on that video a lot. His lawyer at one point said that in fact is evidence of a relationship deteriorating when it is viewed clearly very differently by the judge here in this case.
Sources revealed that spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for Diddy.
Diddy's attorney Mark Ignifilo said there was a 0% chance that Diddy would be violent if he was released, and even called the bail package a, quote, very, very rigorous set of conditions. This part is wild. He said it was even more strict than the MDC jail. But Judge Subramanian, he didn't bite on that, and Diddy's bail was denied for the third time. According to a report from the Daily Mail, that's why Diddy had a breakdown. A person close to him apparently said, quote, spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him. If we're to believe all this, Diddy had a meltdown in his cell and begged the guards to take him to the hospital for observation, but they refused. This same friend or person told the Daily Mail, quote, he eventually managed to calm himself down with the meditation technique he's been using while he's been behind bars. It took him a few hours of deep breathing and focusing to get out of the bad space he was in, but he finally managed it. This isn't the first time Diddy's mental health has come into question while he's been at MDC. When he first arrived, he was on watch, which the U.S. Department of Justice National Institute of Corrections describes as supervisory precautions taken for inmates that require frequent observation. Diddy watch was only temporary, though. He was housed in a special protective unit of the jail after that for the first few weeks of his stay. But Diddy right now is in Gen Pop, meaning general population, the place where majority of the inmates stay. And that's where he apparently had this meltdown over the holidays, at least according to one source.
Located in Brooklyn, the Metropolitan Detention Center is infamous for its harsh conditions and history of violence. Frequently listed as one of the most dangerous house prisons in the world, MDC has been home to some of the toughest criminals and has faced many accusations of maltreatment and
Sean Diddy Combs is locked up in a federal jail that has been plagued by harsh conditions and violence. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn has seen multiple deaths in recent years. An inmate was stabbed to death in July, and several others have died by It's these reasons, among others, that Combs' lawyers are fighting to get him out of there. They want him released on bail rather than being kept in jail while he awaits trial on charges. Combs is just the latest high-profile defendant to be locked up at MDC Brooklyn. Before him, there were R. Kelly, Elaine Maxwell, and crypto scammer Sam Bankman-Fried. Maxwell complained about her treatment at the facility, which included round-the-clock checks in the wake of her associate Jeffrey Epstein's jail. A few years ago, a week-long power outage in the dead of winter left detainees in drab, cold conditions. Judges have also raised alarms. They've pressed the Bureau of Prisons for status updates and implored the agency to fix things. One judge even refused to send some defendants to the jail. For now, Combs is one of about 1,200 people locked up at MDC Brooklyn. He's the highest profile detainee at a place that's been described as hell on earth.
For Diddy, a high-profile inmate with tremendous riches, this environment is especially risky. Here's what former warden of the detention center had to say about Diddy's living conditions in prison.
One former warden who worked at the facility says Combs' life could still be in danger there. And that former warden is Cameron Lindsay, and she joins me now. Cameron, great to have you here. We just read it out loud. One lawyer for one inmate called it the MDC overcrowded and understaffed, hell on earth. Combs' own lawyers called it horrific. Why are conditions so bad there?
Well, it's been a number of years since I've been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, but what I can tell you is New York City, being the biggest, most populated city in America, the MDC has a difficult time recruiting and retaining staff. So one of the key issues is the lack of staffing. And it would be unfair for me not to mention that the vast majority of MDC staff are hardworking, salt of the earth, well-trained people. I know many of them. They're fantastic people. Unfortunately, however, there has been a disproportionate element of corruption within the ranks of MDC. And I think that has to do with a number of factors, to include the inability to hold on to the really good staff.
Yeah.
Many of them leave.
Combs isn't the only famous inmate to be housed there. We had Sam Bankman-Fried there, R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell. They were all inmates there. Sean Combs is being kept away from the general inmate population. You say his fame makes him a target.
Yeah, sure, and not necessarily at the MDC only. I mean,
anywhere.
Yes, in my humble estimation, his life, his safety is in jeopardy in any correctional lockup right now. If it is true, as reported, that he is housed in the special housing unit, it's important to note that the special housing unit is a lockdown, 24-hour lockdown unit. The MDC Brooklyn is a high-rise. The vast majority of the floors are general population floors. But the special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown facility. So this is for Mr. Combs' protection. His incredible worldwide celebrity combined with the allegations, the charges now, an indictment, of course, of acts of violence against women make him a very attractive target.
All right.
Obviously, they need to safeguard him.
This is a man accustomed to the very finest. He was arrested at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York City, known for its luxury suites and exceptional food and wine, where one-bedroom suites start at $3,000 a night. He was probably staying in something larger. What is life like for him now at the MDC?
I would say 100% total culture shock. The MDC is, I've used the word austere a lot, but it is. It's austere, it's strict, it's impersonal, it's cold, and it is a very tough place to be detained.
Yeah, we've got 1 hour of rec time a day, 3 showers a week, a 6 a.m. wake-up call. He's expected to make his own bed and mop his floor, 3 meals a day delivered to his jail cell door.
I don't know about mopping the floor, but definitely the lights come on at early morning around 6, if not somewhat earlier. The thing is, though, Liz, being in administrative detention, being in the special housing unit, he's not going to experience the regular daily life that most inmates or detainees go through. Because he's in protection status, if that is validated, then he will be locked in the cell 23 hours a day with 1 hour recreation in a fenced-in area where I would certainly expect for him to be recreating alone. 3 showers a week, as you pointed out, and 3 hots and a cot, as they say. But he will be in that cell minus social and legal visits. He will be in the cell 23 hours.
Another notable inmate in the Metropolitan Detention Center is Luigi Mangin, who is accused of the high-profile United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, and insiders are saying Diddy is fuming about the publicity Luigi is getting.
Now this is actually crazy, man. Actually crazy. It's a video here, or an article here, I should say, from Daily Mail. It says, exclusive, jealous Diddy is raging that Luigi is getting more attention than him in their Brooklyn prison. Wow, dude. Says Diddy is furious that alleged CEO, y'all know what he did, Luigi, is seen as a bigger star by inmates at the Brooklyn Federal Prison, where both are locked up, it's claimed. The rapper 54 and Luigi 26 are both awaiting trial at Brooklyn's infamous Metropolitan Center in New York. And Diddy, real name Sean Combs, is reportedly raging that the alleged is more beloved than he is among inmates. So that the inmates are showing Luigi love for what he did and Diddy hate because of what he did, allegedly. Diddy has been throwing tantrums over the fact that Luigi is getting all the attention in prison and is being referred as a hero after literally, I can't even say it, someone on camera, the source said. It's a lot to talk about with the Luigi thing, because some people think it ain't him, but we are 1000% sure that was Diddy in that video with Cassie. All right. Diddy is reportedly upset because he claimed he is innocent of the ST, yet he continued getting so much hate inside the lockup while Luigi gets so much love. Even in prison, Diddy's ego is bigger than life, the source added. Luigi is apparently loved by the prisoners and is not having a difficult time dealing with everything because he has gotten so much support with prisoners who have shared their stories of losing loved ones due to inadequate health care. Not to mention the fact that the prison itself faces constant allegations of inadequate health care to those who are locked up, the source told Daily Motion.
Earlier today, I was reporting outside these prison walls when all of a sudden I heard my name, and I couldn't tell if they were, catcalling me or heckling me or even saying my name whatsoever. And so I started reporting on Luigi Mangione's prison conditions as I was finding them out. And as soon as the live shot was over, that's when I turned around and they said, "The conditions suck." And so that was my confirmation. Oh my gosh, they're watching News Nation at that very moment. I pulled out my camera, I recorded, and here's more of that interaction. Take a look from earlier today.
Free Luigi!
With his life at risk and no clear path to release until May 2025, the mogul's once glittering empire now seems a distant memory. It's unclear what the future holds for him, but one thing's for certain: this is a chapter that could change everything. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates. Until then, keep it real, fam.